Hello everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play the Confines of the Crown. I'm excited to see where we're going from this because we're in pretty bad situation right now with her being in the dungeon. But I'm very sure based on what's going on, it seems like Oscar has some kind of plan to help her out. Although he hasn't said as much, but it's pretty obvious because there's no way he's just gonna give up on her. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go try to woo Princess Cassidy." So maybe he thinks if he does that and becomes engaged to her, then he'll be able to convince them to clear Madeline's name or something, you know. But we'll see. I might have read this last time, but I'll read it again just in case. It's so strange seeing him like this. After all these years, I have become too accustomed to Oscar following my lead. I should be pleased to see him more assertive, more active in planning for his future, proud even, as it would demonstrate that my guidance had been all for the best. I was pleased before, when I first realized how he must have outsmarted me in order to purchase that necklace without my knowledge. Why, then, do I feel so confused? Why does this cell seem more lonely than it was before? I refuse to believe that I am reacting this way solely because his plans now involve actively wooing Princess Cassidy as his bride. We both agreed that was the best course for him. Best for both of us. No, best for all three of us, it would seem. Cassidy is a sweet girl, but wholly at the mercy of her treacherous family. As king, Oscar's kindness and honesty would bring much needed change to Gwilynor. And as a couple, they would surely be able to negate my disgrace, perhaps even offer me an advisory position. Cassidy's sheltered upbringing might leave her lacking in certain aspects of wisdom, and I would be of service to her. Everyone benefits. It is an ideal solution, completely practical. Therefore, the root of my unease must lie somewhere else. You had to realize that you're actually jealous, honey. Most likely, I am only finding it difficult because Oscar is in some degree of danger, while I am trapped and unable to aid him. I'm sure that everyone feels that way when someone they have trained or protected goes out into the wild alone. A teacher for a student, one friend for another, a commander for a recruit. Any of those relationships might trigger the same emotions. Nothing to be ashamed of. Girl, you in denial. Here, in this cell, there is nothing for me to do but sit and wait, and try not to worry. I must be calm and patient and allow time to pass. Thus, for the moment, I remain at loose ends, floating between moments without so much as a deck of cards with which to amuse myself. But that is not so terrible. I still have a window. My parents believed that children should be seen and not heard. This applied more to myself than to my sister, for she was older, an heir, not just a child. In those lessons which we shared, I was meant to wait my turn while she asked the questions. In public, I was meant to listen, not speak. And so I did. I could sit in a chair for hours, never moving, never speaking. Easy enough if there was a scene of interest unfolding in front of me. Easy also if my seat allowed me a glimpse of the outdoors. She had such a sad childhood. It's really, really sad. Sunlight on leaves, grass in the breeze. Somehow the sight of these sets my mind free to wandering. I could be a rabbit leaping across the hills. I could be an insect with a pretty red and black shield on my back. Or perhaps I could be the fairy of dawn, painting each blade of grass with its tiny drop of dew. It has been a long time since I last remembered my daydreams, but they are still out there, waiting for me. I stare out the window, lost in my mind, until at last darkness comes and I find sleep. It is the sunlight again that rouses me in the morning. For those first few moments, I don't quite remember where I am and roll up against the stone wall when trying to get out of bed. Then, of course, it all comes back to me. Princess Cassidy, the betrayal, Oscar. Where is he now? What is he doing? I'm sure he made it back to our room safely. He's perfectly capable when he tries to be, but then... No point in thinking about it. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do now at all. Nothing but wait. I may as well go back to sleep. How often do I get the chance to lie in with my regular occupation? But as I should have expected, it's not quite so easy to convince my body to return to slumber. Instead, I lie awake, staring up at the stone ceiling. I wonder how many blocks there are over my head. Alas, counting them more than once just to be certain still takes up very little of the day. Inactivity is a luxury that quickly becomes a burden. I can't blame Oscar for longing to take action. Well, if resting leaves me restless, the sensible course is to move and keep moving. I stand and begin to pace a pattern across the stones of my cell. Nothing too energetic, not when I don't have the luxury of being clean afterwards. That's true. I was going to say maybe she should, work out a little. But then if you're working up a sweat and you don't get to take a bath, then it's like, ugh. Still, it wouldn't do to let my body fall completely out of practice. Not that I have often been called upon to use my skills in the heat of combat. A good companion is a noble's last line of defense, one that should remain in reserve. I have more experience in sparring or chasing off boisterous drunks than I do in resisting assassination. I will defend what needs defending, but I could never become a fighter for hire. I could never kill for coin. That man who tried to murder Cassidy, what was his motivation? He called her an imposter. Yeah, I was curious about that. According to Dolores, there have been rumors about Cassidy being an imposter for many years, but everyone who's actually seen her knows them to be false. The impression she gave was that it was the commoners, kept at a great distance from the sheltered princess, who nurtured such beliefs, and that anyone of noble birth repeating those whispers would be seen as ignorant and ill-bred. If even the palace guards have doubts about her identity... No, that was not a doubt. Prince Callum was right in that much. That man was a fanatic who intended to die for his cause, whatever that cause may have been. If only we'd been able to question him. It's not my concern, except that it is, if Oscar intends to involve himself in Gwelenor's affairs. If Princess Cassidy is in danger and Oscar is close to her, then he is in danger as well. I should have reminded him of that. But there's nothing I can do. I can't reach him. I can only wait and hope that he comes back. After a while, someone brings me food. Bread, a bit of fish, and cold stew. Compared absolutely, it is a better meal than we managed yesterday morning. Still, I would rather be there at the riverside than here, if I had the choice. But I don't. I can't choose anything. I never could. I've lived the life that I was meant to, and what has it gotten me? Is this what my life was for? Ending up in a dungeon somewhere, forgotten and alone, for something I didn't even do? I slam my hand down on the bed in frustration. Then I wince and cradle my fingers. These mattresses are too thin for pounding. Oof. Oh, there he is again. Cuckoo! Oscar. That image will always make me laugh. I rush to the window. Hi! Oh, she looks so happy to see him. Aw, you can tell. Pleased to see me. Pleased to see you in one piece. Did you get a message to Cassidy? Yes, but it turns out it wasn't totally needed. Like you said, I'm still an honored guest. That means I still have to attend the anniversary functions. Because otherwise it might look like an insult to Ascendaware. That's good. That shows they're still considering your reputation. So, you spoke to her there? We couldn't talk much, of course. Everybody was there. There's no way the guards would let her go off with me now. They might if she pushed hard enough, but they'd probably come along as well. So what did she have to say? Whose side is she on? I told you, she's a nice girl. She had no idea. About what was going on, I mean. She thought it was Dolores in the dungeon, not you. Ah, so that means Callum doesn't know either. It's a normal thing to think. It would have made more sense. So when she found out what her parents did to you, she wanted to stop the music and march right down here. Of course. I told her she should wait until I talked to you first. Is that all right? I want you free, but I thought you wouldn't want us to rush and make a mess. Yeah. You are right. As much as I'd like to be out of this cell, my confession and condemnation were public, and the charges attested by the king himself. Demanding my release would be an open challenge to royal authority. It needs something more subtle. Oh, Cassidy's first idea was even worse. She wanted to help you stage a jailbreak. Oh, she's sweet. So I could be a criminal and a fugitive. Well, she doesn't have your experience. She only wants to do what's right. At least we know we can trust her, if nothing else, but I'm concerned about you, both of you. Cassidy is too innocent for this sort of situation. And I? Okay, let's see. This is save 15? Wait. Why does that look weird to me? Sometimes when you go to spell a word, it looks strange. You know? It's like you forget and you're like, wait, is that how it's spelled? That's bothering me. Is that seriously how it's spelled? Dear Lord. Why? Why am I like this? Why can't I remember how to spell 15? It is 15. Okay. What? Why? It looks weird to me. This is one of those times. It really looks weird to me. Why does this look so weird? Oh, this is gonna drive me crazy now. I'm sorry. I've had times where I was like writing a short, simple word like the or something, and I'm like, that looks weird. Alright, 15. Oh, did it not save as 15? Dag nabbit. But I had the whole word typed. Did it? 15. What the hell? Overwrite. There. Okay. So, let's just compliment him. You're getting better. If you'd asked me last week, I would have said yes. And now? I'll still say yes, but I'll hesitate longer. He rolls his eyes at me. Oscar, there's an assassin out there. Maybe more than one. Have you thought about that? Someone wanted Cassidy dead. If there's a plot, it may not be over. She could still be in danger. And as long as you're beside her, so are you. Oh. Do you or she have any idea what the king and his wisdom are doing about the assassin problem? No, I don't know. I should have thought of that. I should have thought of that. I should have thought of it earlier, and I didn't. But don't feel bad. We've both had our share of unexpected events lately. Oscar just shakes his head, ignoring my reassuring smile. I'm supposed to be trying to plan for my future with Cassidy. And my smile goes lopsided. Oof. Yes, well, now you know. Be on your guard. I can't be out there, so you are my only eyes and ears. I need to track the assassin, and I also need to know what the royals are doing so I don't run into them. Exactly. Guess I'd better go then. Well, it's about time that he does some of his own stuff, you know? He can't always rely on her. He looks up at the wall, gives a faint sigh, and begins to climb. He didn't even say farewell. Oh. Yeah, that is kind of sad. Of course not. His mind is focused on the task at hand. Protecting Princess Cassidy. I can only hope he's up to it. Our princess in the tower needs all the help she can get. As for the woman in the dungeon, what she needs is patience. I don't need a pair of impetuous young heroes rushing to my rescue. I'm not in any danger. They do make a pair, don't they? Oscar and Cassidy, paragons of goodness and virtue, and they did look cute together. They need me. Or is it the truth that I need? I'm not used to being alone. Really alone. I've always belonged to someone. I was my mother's daughter and my sister's shadow. As pathetic as it was, I had a place and a purpose. And then, all these years, I have been Oscar's companion. He has been the center of my world. Everything that I do, it's all about him. See, this kind of thing, as much as I ship her and Oscar, I also see, like, I feel like she does deserve to be free of him in a way, you know? Like, if they could stay friends would be great, but it's like she deserves to be her own person, you know? So seeing her be with someone else, I would have said Callum because they could be cute together, but this whole mess with Callum and his family, I think she deserves better than that. So if I did play this again, I'd probably ship her with, I know Coco said that Dolores is a possible path, which is interesting, although I don't think it's romantic. But that would be fine to see her and Dolores just like take the money and run and like live a life free and happy, you know? That would be nice. Or maybe to see what's up with the other two. I'm not really interested in Gaston, but Nazagi is pretty hot, so I'd probably try out his route, you know? We'll see. I don't know if I'll play this game more for you guys because it's already pretty long, just one route, and I don't really want to devote too much time to like 100%ing a game or anything, but it's an interesting game, so on my free time I might decide to, you know, just see the other routes and see what they're like. I don't want to find another position. I want Oscar and I to be always together. I want things to go on like they were, even though I know that they can't. I'm just as much of a child as he is, aren't I? I need to plan for my future with eyes wide open, and not cling to the familiar. Still, it would be a waste to throw away my connection with Oscar solely because it is familiar. He and Cassidy would need someone they could count on. They know they can trust me. It could be the best position I'll ever get. And if that means spending the rest of my life watching him and her together, then so be it. With that thought, I restore my sense of calm. I sit on my bed and I wait, and time passes. Footsteps.
You, on your feet.
What's going on?
You're being summoned.
What? Where? Why? Summoned, he said, not released.
Keep your mouth shut and come along. Don't give us any trouble.
Us. Too many guards for me to have much chance of escape. I'll have to go along with them. My training has taught me that in a captive situation, biding your time and waiting for a better opportunity can be a mistake. You are already in a weaker position. Any time that you spend to strengthen yourself, your enemies can spend as well, and more effectively. Surprise may be the only advantage available. If these men intended to kill me, it would be my obligation to escape at all cost. As things stand, though, with Princess Cassidy alerted to my plight, my only real risk of death should be if I were caught trying to escape. Let's hope that's true and not just a comforting illusion. The guards escort me through the palace back to the presentation hall. What's going on? There's no one here but the guards and a steward. No. Here they come. Oh no. What's going on? A bubbling throng of gentility pours through the doors, laughing and gossiping merrily until they catch sight of me, the dangerous traitor. Then they clutch their pearls to their chests in fear, only to be shoved along by those behind them who haven't seen what the fuss is about. They weren't expecting to see me, so why have we been brought together? Okay, what are you two up to now? Suddenly, Princess Cassidy steps to the fore, with Oscar close behind her. I guess her parents didn't know. Are they gonna announce their wedding? Lords and ladies of Guelinor, noble guests, and my esteemed parents, I have an announcement to make. Earlier this week, while I walked outside of my palace, I was attacked by an assassin. One of my own guards, or so I thought. There is no doubt in my mind that that man intended to murder me. If the sight of me caused consternation, this news stirs the whole loft. The princess frowns slightly and holds up her hands, demanding silence so that she can continue. My life was only saved by the valiant efforts of one Miss Valois of Ascendaware. The crowds are still swirling as someone tries to make their way through. Therefore, I hereby pardon her of all crimes and bestow upon her the title of Honorable... Oh. And at last, King Praedric fights his way to the central die. Oh boy. Lord... Oh, why did my throat just go... Wait. Just shut up. Lords and ladies, thank you for your attendance. You are dismissed. Well, she's certainly done it now. Oh boy. Only the king's voice could have directed so many through such disruption. Praedric, Paloma, Oscar, Cassidy, and myself are gathered in a small room of the palace, completely circumscribed by guards. Outside, guests in various stages of fury or terror demand answers, only to be turned away. Inside, the king brings his own terror and fury to bear. Thinking, I guess we're not hearing the whole sentence. You have undermined the order of the kingdom for your own whims. I did no such thing. It was you who did that. Everything you said about Madeline was a lie, and you know it. But I didn't challenge your proclamations. I didn't reveal your lack of honor to our people. You say she's a traitor and a criminal. I say she's pardoned. So there. Huh. You have created pandemonium by inventing the threat of assassination. What? I didn't invent anything. It happened exactly like I said it did. He attacked me, Madeline, and Callum saved me. You did already know that, didn't you, Your Majesty? From the look on his face, it would seem that he didn't. What happened? How did they not know? Did they not talk? What the hell? There truly was an assassin. How did you not know that? Didn't they tell you? Oscar, didn't you say anything? No one asked me. Is there any proof of this tale? If you don't trust me or Oscar or Madeline or my brother, you can go out and look at the body yourself. Unless someone has moved it by now.
A traitor in the guard ranks? This is terrible. We must send for Callum. The Orph girl should be with him. Why would Dolores be with Callum? She has been assigned as his valet.
What? That's ridiculous. Why would you grant her such a position? She should have been in the dungeons, not Madeline.
The royal family owes a debt of honor, the nature of which is not for these ears.
A debt of honor. That's... Is it because Dolores is your other child? More important than the truth. Yes, it is. Those sad words puncture Cassidy's anger. I don't understand. I just wanted to set everything right.
My darling girl, the world can never be set entirely right. The king dispatches a messenger to bring Callum and Dolores into this impromptu council. Enemies against us. If this is true, do you know whose service this assassin was in?
All I know is that he called me an imposter and wanted me dead.
An imposter? Marianites, it must be.
Marionite? What does that mean?
Lore, give me the lore. There are other possibilities. And they are even worse. Either way, there is a worm in the ranks. Now that our hand has been tipped, it will be much harder to investigate this man's connections. If you hadn't been so quick to force your bargains upon us, you could have uncovered the truth long ago. You never even asked me what happened out there. You didn't want to know. I had thought that at least you would speak to your own son and daughter, but you lied to them as well. I don't appreciate your tone, young man. You have no idea how much is at stake. Shut up, you old fool.
If that's true, Father, then it's because you haven't told us. How much else have you been keeping from me? How about my brother, for one thing? A well-timed arrival. Callum and Dolores slip into the room. The former page appears confused and displeased at finding herself in such company. Both, for now, choose to remain silent and watch the proceedings.
Everything we have done has been for your safety.
I understand that, but that isn't enough, not compared to the harm that has been done. It is my solemn belief that no one in this room is trying to kill me. Not even Dolores. For all that she did, she never hurt me and she protected me when I was in danger. I can't say that much for anyone else outside. So what good does it do to waste your resources causing trouble for any of us? Stop punishing my friends. Aw, she's so sweet.
There is something to be said for the wisdom of innocence. What's done is done. We must play the cards as they are laid. We have a great deal of work to do here. We must retrieve the traitor's corpse and establish some semblance of control. Prince Oscar, the Honorable Miss Valois, you are free to return to your quarters without guard. I understand. Come on, Maddie, let's go.
Hey, she's not in the cell anymore. Yay! Free. I am free. That's great. Chapter 6D, The Fallout. Alright, what time are we at? Since we're at a new chapter, I guess we could just end this episode right here. Ooh, a lot happened. I mean, I'm glad that Cassidy did what she did, so that now Madeline is out of the cell. Okay, but now we have this big situation of them trying to figure out, you know, who sent the assassin and all of that. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and until next time, have a nice day. Bye!